Hey plant people, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today I am planting potatoes, yes. June 10th and I'm just now planting potatoes. But I think there's still time to get a good crop in before the winter sets in. Even if I don't get a crop of eating potatoes, I will at least get some seed potatoes for next year. And that's the main thing that I'm worried about. So I have these purple potatoes. I've had them for quite a few years. They were given to me by my daughter. And they just give smallish potatoes, but they're very tasty, purple inside and out. So they have sprouted, as you can see, quite nicely. They usually do quite well, actually. So the difference between different potatoes is that, well, let me see. First, the similarities. The similarities is that they all start producing potatoes at the level above the seed potato. So they don't produce potatoes underneath that. So the soil in your pot or container can be quite shallow. So I would give it 4 or 5 inches underneath the seed, and then it will start producing potatoes above that level. Now, some potatoes are determinate, so they only make one layer of potatoes, but some are called indeterminate, and if you hill up the soil more and more, they will continue producing different layers of potatoes. If you get a potato from the grocery store, you will probably not know whether it's a determinate or indeterminate, so it would be just a matter of trial and error. Once you know what kind of potato you have, then you can, deal with it in the proper way. Now, I know that this is a determinate potato, and so I am just going to give it one layer of soil above. So there'll be a soil layer underneath, and then there will be soil on top, maybe quite a bit more on top. Now my pot here is a 10-gallon pot, and it's only 12 inches deep. So I'll probably do it in thirds. So 4 inches underneath the seed potato, and at the beginning it will only have 4 inches on top as well. But as the potato grows, I will add another 4 inches later on. So let's start. So my pot actually has 8 inches of soil in it right now, and I'm just going to dig some holes. I have 3 potatoes there, so I will just, I have to level out the soil first. There we go. And then I will dig a hole, 3 holes. Okay, so I have my 3 holes dug, and I'm gonna put my potatoes in those holes. Okay, so actually right now you can't see anything in the pot because I covered them completely. Even the sprouted part is underground under the soil, and I will leave that and let them grow, and then maybe in a couple weeks time I can add the 3rd layer of soil, the next layer of soil on top. Okay? Now I will go inside because I would like to give you some more tips on how to grow potatoes nicely. So the few tips that I would like to give you about growing potatoes is that for our zone, which is 7B, so you know how there's different planting zones, right? Because of the weather, differences in weather according to your latitude, or is it longitude? Latitude, yeah. According to your latitude, you will have different weather, and therefore you have to plant your potatoes at different times. We are in the Pacific Northwest here, and so we should be planting potatoes at the end of April or even to mid-May. Planting them in the first half of June is a bit late, and I'm hoping to get some eating-sized potatoes still if I leave them long enough into the fall. But I can't expect to have, really good eating potatoes. Now, potatoes can stand quite a bit of cold, so it shouldn't be too much of a bother for them to go in, even if it's a little bit cold at the end of April. So I would actually suggest putting them in, at least by May 10th, not June 10th like it is today. Okay. Now, another thing that we need to know about potatoes is that they are heavy feeders. They need a lot of fertilizer. If you have some organic stuff, that's good. But if you don't have organic, what can you do? You just use what you have. And the other thing that they like is very low pH, which means acidic. Most people would buy some sulfur powder and put it in the soil because that will acidify the soil. But if you don't want to go out and buy sulfur powder, you can use vinegar as well, because vinegar is an acid. You add it to some water. So I usually get an ice cream bucket, because I like Chapman's ice cream. Ooh, who doesn't? And in that empty ice cream container, which is a gallon container, I put in a cup of vinegar first, and then I just filled that to the top. And well, you saw the size of pot I have. I put a couple cups of that in each pot. And that should acidify it. Later on, if I feel like they look a little bit like they want some more acidity in the soil, then I will do it again. But it shouldn't need it more than once, really. Yeah, that's it, I think. Is that it? Yeah, so after the potatoes flower is the time when you can start actually looking to, dig up some potatoes. If you like those new potatoes and new baby potatoes, you can start digging right after the flowers start dying off. And if you want some mature potatoes, you could wait a couple more weeks after that. Okay, so happy growing, happy digging. I hope you get some potatoes. All of you who are late like me, let's hope that we get some potatoes. If not, we will at least get some seed potatoes, okay? Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.